Okay, fam. Today, we're going home. I'm joined by a very special, very Miami guest, Alex Klumpp, the person behind Beyond South Beach. We're diving into Miami's food culture, its dialects, its neighborhoods, and what it really means to grow up in a city that never quite stays the same. Miami is one of the few cities in America where being bilingual isn't impressive. It's normal. And as I've mentioned before, Spanglish is the city's official dialect. Alex, when you think of Miami, what does it taste like?
It tastes like coffee. It tastes citrusy, a little spicy, sweet. It's a whole bunch of flavors.
Ooh, I like that. For me, it's very much like cafecito, pollo tropical, abuela's kitchen, moshi moshi before it was trendy. Yeah, Jamaican patties, Jewish delis. That's very much, and Colombian bakeries, of course.
All the things.
All the things, right? Because, in Miami, we don't just eat culture, we speak it. Growing up here, when you were a kid, what did Miami taste like?
So Cuban bread, we had every weekend our neighbor would leave Cuban bread at our door, which was really sweet now when I look back at it all the time. Rice and beans, because I don't really even eat them that much now, but back when I was young, that's all I ever wanted was rice and beans. So it was yeah.
I love that. And what restaurants defined your childhood?
I don't know if this is a restaurant, but Don Pan, for sure. I loved Don Pan. There's like only 2 left, I think. I don't even know, but I love Don Pan. We went to Puerto Tropical a lot. I know you mentioned that. We went to Sakura for sushi a bit. Los Ranchos. There was this place on Coral Way called California Fresco or Fresco, California or something. We also went there a lot.
Yes, classic staples. Now, did you realize at the time that what you were experiencing was unique?
When you're young, I don't know if you do, right? And also, like, my dad's German and my mom's Cuban, so I definitely didn't realize how weird that was until I got older. So,
and probably moved away, right?
When you leave, the more people you meet, yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't realize how exotic my accent was until I left Miami.
It's crazy. I know. It's like, are you Brazilian? I'm like, what? You're like, what? No.
I get that all the time. Where are you from? I'm like, Miami, right? So yeah, I agree.
And now it's actually a thing. Now it's recognized as a dialect. So now
exactly,
it's crazy.
We love that, right? At least that we're getting some recognition, and we talk about it being layered. So you mentioned you were half Cuban, half German. Which side definitely influenced your taste palette?
It's funny because my parents have been very good at exposing us to both cultures. So obviously I'm in Miami, there's Cuban everywhere, right? So of course, naturally, there's more Cuban in my life, but my dad only spoke to us in German growing up. My mom learned all of my grandmother's recipes. So, they came over every Christmas. So it was I want to call it 50-50, but of course, naturally being in Miami, like the Cuban takes over. Yeah.
We're all Cuban by association,
I know,
right?
seriously.
It's really how it is,
it's
right?
True.
So sprechen Deutsch, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's good. My Dutch is not very good.
Oh.
I a little bit, but I used to be better. But I speak French, Italian, Portuguese.
Oh my God.
Yeah, a little bit of Russian,
That's
a little
amazing.
bit of Japanese.
Why? Just because you like these languages, or why German?
Yeah.
No one ever wants to learn German. It's not like the sexiest.
I know. That's exactly why. I understand it perfectly, but my Spanish was predominant in Miami. Always Spanish at home, always English at school and other stuff.
Totally. Yeah, we got lucky. Actually, Miami has one of the only elementary schools or something with a German program, Sunset Elementary. So I got to go there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Otherwise.
Very good. Yes. So we talk about all these cultures that is Miami, this cultural melting pot. And aside from your cultures, which other one kind of excites you or you're familiar with?
Well, especially with like Beyond South Beach and everything like that. And I owe it to my mom too for always really exposing us to a lot of cultures. I love them all. I mean, which one feels more? I mean, I have an aunt that's Venezuelan and I happen to love Venezuelan food like cachapas and arepas and tequeños and all of that. But I definitely love the Haitian food. You mentioned Jamaican, which I haven't had as much of, but like Haitian, all the Latino kind of foods, Nicaraguan, Venezuelan, obviously Mexican, I love. Yeah. I've always loved Asian, so.
A little bit of everything. A little bit of what we grew up with, right?
Totally. I actually never really grew up eating that much Cuban. Like, yes, but it wasn't like the number one, it wasn't like every day how people do. Yeah.
Right.
In Miami.
The norm. Now, we talk about all these places, all this food and the food culture in general. And how has Miami changed when it comes to food?
It's just getting fancier. It's getting a lot fancier. I think that's like the the number one. I mean, we're having like, I don't know, there's elevated Cuban, there's elevated Mexican now. It's like what used to be made at home or like super cheap on the side of the street kind of thing is now like becoming fancy. And then obviously you have, of course, the newcomers that aren't even, from New York and all of that.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I have strong sentiments about that.
But all of that is changing the food.
It's true.
And how people approach it. Yeah.
And I think it gives a lot of locals more exposure, right? Like you said, there's people usually stick to the norm or what they grew up with, the same rice and beans or the same jerk chicken, as opposed to now, since it's elevated, if you will, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We're more exposed.
What do you think Miami has lost?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if we've fully lost anything, right? Because I think that there are still pockets here that I think that if anything, what we've lost maybe isn't a Miami issue, but just like I don't know if it's a global or an America issue. It's just like, it's hard. People used to come to Miami from all these different countries to make something of themselves. And it's just harder to do that in general. I think they can, but I think it's just really hard. Like life is really expensive.
Yeah, the American dream.
There's a lot of competition.
Right?
Yeah.
That part. A lot of competition. So what feels real and what feels performative? Because we have all these newcomers, like you mentioned earlier, and I love, again, the exposure, but some just try to cement their lifestyles or their ideals in our city, and you assimilate because we are such a unique place, Miami, in the bottom of this peninsula we call Florida.
I mean, performative to me is there's $100 hot dog right now. And I actually really like the place. So I don't even want to mention them. People might know it or not, but they're putting caviar on a hot dog. I'm sure it's delicious and amazing, but it's $100. that's performative to me.
Period. Yes. Just buy the caviar and have it at home, right?
Yeah. That's that. I don't even know. Is that like done for the gram? I don't know. I don't know why it's done, but
I agree with you 100%. And I feel like for me, this is another reason why I stuck to radio, right? Because I've had people ask me, they're like, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, no, I'm extremely brilliant and good looking. I just don't want to give you the performance.
There you go.
I don't owe it to you, right? Why do we have to continue doing the same thing that everybody else is doing? And I feel like that kind of takes from our essence, especially as Miamians. Right.
Yeah.
And now I'm originally from South Miami, Kendall area. Those are my stomping grounds. What neighborhoods shaped you?
I'm from Little Havana. I mean, we later moved to the Grove, but like my entire childhood was in Little Havana. I ended up living there again. We had chickens. We ran around barefoot. The Cuban bread was there too when we'd get it every morning from our neighbor. Yeah.
I love that.
It has a special place in my heart, for sure.
Yeah. I think about my parents, and they used to party in Tobacco Road, ball and chain. That's a staple for them. We used to go to the Rusty Pelican when we wanted to get fancy and do something. I actually had my engagement party there.
Oh, my parents got married there.
Oh, wow.
It's a staple. I mean, that's like a classic.
You see? So aside from the Rusty Pelican, do your parents have other spots?
They have their spots now. Growing up, I don't really remember. My mom cooked a lot. I mean, they were young parents compared to today, so I don't know how much money they had to be like going to fancy dinners all the time. I don't remember that. I remember mom cooking, and if we ever went out, it was like as a family. But I'm sure they had date nights that I don't know about. But today they have spots. You want to know about today's spots?
Yeah.
Well, they're at Café La Trova all the time. They go to the Gibson a lot. All this is also just because it's so close to home. They go to Tourist all the time in the Grove too.
Tourist, great.
Yeah. Those are, I would say they frequent those three a lot.
Okay.
They like to drink.
Oh, I like that. I like to party.
That's why I pretty much named only bars.
No, that's great. Yeah, I love how you mentioned, how it's close to home. Like, I feel like that neighborhood proximity really does play a big role in Miami.
Yeah, especially with the traffic today and all that. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, precisely. For me, growing up bilingual, and then as I got older and I switched, from English or to Spanish, or when I moved somewhere else, and I realized, wait, like, I am a professional code switcher. And I didn't realize that until I left, and how much Miami has influenced my life as a whole. And that's what I teach my students, right? I give them little cultural kits from the Miami diaspora. And I think that's something that's so ingrained and intertwined. Everybody, especially the immigrant experience, people come from another country, they learn the language and they assimilate. But I feel like in Miami, we don't assimilate. We just remix. We just have what's already here and we just play with it. Like, I think about before Wynwood was Wynwood. I wouldn't dare to drive over there because there was nothing to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I started going to Wynwood when Wynwood was Wynwood. So I don't remember it before then. You know what I mean? So Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
I think about the mall rat culture as well. And then now Sunset Place.
I know, RIP. I did that. I definitely did loser laps at Sunset.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
And I'm with you.
I feel that for me, especially with these crypto bros, no, I struggle with that. I know that after the pandemic and the shift and the influencer wave, and they put our city on the map, which I'm eternally grateful for.
Right.
But I feel like this really is what Miami is about. Us locals, us seeing the transformation of the city,
Totally.
us working with the tools that we have here for us to grow, how our parents did it, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, for me, I am for everything that is elevating Miami from a cultural perspective. You know what I mean? Like, I do think that there was a little bit of a desert here before. And as long as these people who come here open up more museums, we have a jazz fest now. Like, if they're doing things like that, if their money is being put to things that are educating us, making us just more well-rounded, then I'm all for it here. But I'm with you. I'm with you with the whole locals thing. It's kind of funny though, I don't know if when you travel and you meet a Miami person, don't you feel like you just know each other?
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's an unspoken agreement. It's
totally.
like we're family. We grew up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
I feel like that's why I felt comfortable approaching you and just saying, hey, why not?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of influencers, and I've had people request to record, not to toot my own horn, but, but I'm like, I don't know if you're the vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's there. Yeah, I don't feel like that's what elevates my city as a whole and what my brand, if you will, what we're about. And I noticed that you're very intentional too with what you've created with Beyond South Beach.
Thank you. Yeah, we definitely try to be. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. When you think about who gets to define Miami, we're talking about locals and other people. What's your take on that?
I mean, that's a really hard question, because is it like who should or who like actually really gets to? It's hard. Like, is it the chefs that define Miami because Miami's such a foodie city? Is it the real estate people?
Exactly. It's really that. Is it the cuisine, the elevated ethnic food, right? The things that for us were so normal and some of us had at the dinner table now is being something completely outreach for some people. When you think about Abuela's recipes, for example, La Carreta, which is a franchise, but it's still very much like Abuela's kitchen. What happens to those recipes when everything becomes modern and elevated?
Yeah, I know. I think that there's always going to be room for them, though. Who can afford always very expensive food or very fancy? You want to switch it up sometimes? I don't know. I hope so, at least. But you're right. I mean, Miami more and more is just becoming a city for the elite. It's getting more and more expensive. But I actually read an article today that talked about how restaurants are increasing their prices, or have, and it hasn't at all helped them make more money. On the contrary. So I don't know if maybe that'll make a shift.
Yes, yeah. Especially for those in the kitchen, right? I feel like a lot of people forget about all the working hands, all the blood, sweat, and tears that goes behind the kitchen lifestyle, because everybody just gets to see the aesthetic,
right?
The restaurant.
They don't see the behind the scenes.
Precisely. Yeah. So I do think that's important. Okay, now we talk about fusion done well. We're talking about new chefs pushing boundaries, and then social media helping hidden gems like what you do with your page, and visibility for immigrant stories, right? We talked about different food that we like. And, earlier I mentioned when I worked at EF International Language Schools on 27th and Collins, I had all these privileged kids from across the globe. They came to learn English, but Miami is not the city you come to learn English, right? And it was always this what to do and where to go, and they wouldn't leave the beach. They wouldn't leave the island, and they would just come and complain, especially the French. Priscilla, everything is too expensive. I don't know where to go. I'm like, dude, cross the bridge, spend $20 on an Uber. And then I'm like, please follow Beyond South Beach. And I know some of them still follow you.
Yay,
so I love that. I literally forced them.
Appreciate it.
It was also an assignment one time. They had to figure out something that they like from your page, a place, and then go visit. And that was their homework for the weekend.
Oh, I love it.
And they had to come back and tell me the experience.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. I wish I knew what they chose. It'd be interesting.
Yeah. Well, some of them, at the time, I mean, this is 2019. In 2021, these were the dates. So one of them, they went to the Rusty Pelican. They loved it. They were like, great, but that's just, I mentioned it. Yeah. But then they came to the Grove and to the Gables. That's a good, I'm going to actually look into that.
Especially
and I'll
because that
tell
was
you.
right COVID-ish, not 2019, but 2021. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Places have changed. Okay, well, I want to do a little fun lightning round. I usually do thought experiments at the end of my episodes.
Okay.
And it's kind of like homework, but not really, because the word homework is just dreadful, right? So I just use thought experiment. But I want to do a little think fast with you. So best croqueta in Miami.
Okay, for me, it's any Spanish croqueta because I love the bechamel, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. I used to love the one at Leku, but now,
Yes. There's a place actually in Upper Buena Vista. It's like a Basque restaurant.
And it has good Spanish croquetas. I must go.
Amazing.
They're so good.
Amazing. They are the real croquetas.
They're
No
the
offense to my Cubans. Y'all know I love you, but your croquetas.
I'm half Cuban. I agree.
They're weak. Now, most overrated Miami food trend.
Okay, I have so many of these and I can't think of one right now. But there are so many.
Go, shoot, just one.
I don't know. I can't think. Do you have one? But there's me and my parents talk about this all the time. Like we're like, why does this keep opening up? Or why do they keep putting this on a menu? And I just can't think of one right now.
Like El Cielo, which is a Colombian Michelin star restaurant. I went to the one in Bogota in Colombia, and the experience was so different from what I see that is being offered here. What's the most underrated neighborhood?
To me, Silver Bluff.
Oh,
it's
nice.
like right near Coral Way. I love that little neighborhood. I love that little pocket.
Nice.
Beautiful old homes. Yeah.
I love that. I feel like, the Grove is also a lot of places in North Miami and Little Havana, because everybody just thinks 8th Street, but it's beyond that.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Now, what's one place that represents the new Miami?
Oh man, I'd say Carbone. I don't know. Like it's a New York place. It's also in the Grove that's changing a lot.
I've yet to go, but I've heard great things. Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I really like the one in the Grove. It's nice to go to.
Okay. Cafecito or matcha?
Cafecito for sure.
Okay. So that's that's true Miami. Ventanita or rooftop bar?
Also Ventanita.
Yes.
I would never go to a rooftop bar.
Yeah. Little Havana or Brickell?
Little Havana.
Okay.
That's my place.
That's right. 305 or 786?
Oh, I'm a 786 number, but it's the 305.
Yes, I'm
forever.
a 786 too, because I moved and changed my line, but I will forever be grudgeful and resentful for that.
Sad, I know.
Old Miami isn't gone, right? It seems like we've touched about our childhoods and our parents' go-to spots, and they're still there. Some of them are standing strong. And then New Miami isn't the enemy. I've come to terms with that, that it's okay, that what they're bringing in is okay and it's helping us. We're living right in that in-between. So I want everybody to explore more ventanitas, more strip malls rather than just tasting menus, and obviously abuela's recipes. And because Miami, like I said earlier, we don't just assimilate, we remix. So what's a place that right now you are encouraging everybody to go see, especially those who aren't from Miami?
The place that I always tell people to go to, which I already mentioned before, is Café La Trova that my parents love. Just because to me, they have a Cuban band, they have great drinks, the happy hour bites are good. That's just like feels very Miami Cuban vibes to me. And that's what the visitors want, a place like that.
Yeah.
Do they need the support like other places? Probably not, because they crush it. But I do love it there.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. So like I said earlier, we're living in between the strip malls and the tasting menus, the abuela recipes and the remixes. Because again, Miami will always be Miami in our hearts, whether we leave or come back. So thank you for being here and for doing this. And y'all know what to do. Keep listening, share. Dale.